Choose you this day whom you will serve. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. It's the Budgie Buddies, Joshua J and K with Regulator, Big Buddy, Mr. Heater, RV Camper, Furnace, Off-Grid, Low Pressure Propane Integration. Okay, here's what we've got going on today. For the last week or so, as it's been getting colder, I found this other extra hose on another grill, similar to the hose that I was using off of that burner that I'm currently using out front on the propane tank that hooked up to the copper lines down there. Well, eventually I'm going to split off onto there and bring it over to here and put me another outlet, because I've got this cool little propane hose I bought. Got it on sale, about 25 bucks with the quick connector, and as a bonus it came with that fitting there. But this connector here is for my little buddy, or big buddy heater that I just got yesterday at Tractor Supply for 140 bucks plus tax. And that little valve up in there is a quick connector for the low pressure. I found out about that online, and I said, oh, I got to get one of these because I can integrate it into my low pressure RV system. But until I spend all the money, because I mean copper fittings are $10 a piece, and you know, about probably about $1 a foot for copper lining. So until I do that, I just spent $25 on this line to get me started. Plus I can use this line as a portable line later if I want to take the this over to the storage shed while I'm working in it, keep it warm. Anyway, what I'm gonna do, since it came with this bonus adapter, is take this, and so now I don't have to have the propane tank behind the seat right up next to the heater, which was no fun. Again, just using it as a little backup while I'm sitting here monitoring it. But anyway, now I can put this on here, and I got to take these wrenches and disconnect this so it'll fit through the propane hole, you know, propane line hole, and run it up through. But then I can run it up through, put the propane tank out there, and have about, you know, 9 feet out of the 12 feet to run around with the buddy heater, or boom, connect it to the propane heater. So until I get it all integrated, I can switch between heaters depending on what I want to do. Pretty cool, huh? All right, let's get it going. All right, here's something I noticed. This was on real tight, came off real tough, and it has this red stuff that started turning into like a powder or something. I'm a little worried that if this wasn't done right, maybe some of that got into my heater last night trying this thing out. You know, I would suggest tapping this thing in, you know, with the connector and purging it a little bit before connecting it to anything in the future. And I'm going to redo that with Teflon tape, and of course leak check anything. Anyway, I got that on there, and the idea is, again, to connect it back and forth. But you see that hole right there, especially with these short hoses with the curves in them, going through the plastic underlayment and then the insulation, you know, about that far, and then trying to line it up with that hole has been quite the feat. So what I did was I made me a tool. I got me a coat hanger, folded it in half, put that little lip on there that hooks onto that, and I just stick it through the hole, find it till it goes all the way through. Okay, it would be easier if I wasn't filming this, of course. There it goes. Drop it on through. Now I can go outside, find it, hook it on, pull it through. Alright, did what I said, went outside, put the line up to the coat hanger hanging down, and you know, I've had to do this 3 or 4 or 5 times since I started playing with the propane furnace last year. So this is actually, this setup right here is coming. See if I can get this lined up so you can watch it come in. There it is, see? Look how reasonably well this works. Again, easier if I'm doing it when I'm not filming, but the fact that I can do it while I'm filming shows you how much even more awesome this is. Alright, it's a good idea to go ahead and pull all these tags all the way off while you've got the big connector off, because you see they won't slide off with that on by design, especially since half of these are slid onto this. While you got this, pull them off, and then make sure you set this back on before reattaching this, so you have the benefit of being able to plug this when not in use. Now I need to get the Teflon tape on there and put it on. And you know, I learned a lesson. Teflon tape, you don't lay it on flat and roll it around first. You twist it up so it's a little bead, wrap the bead up inside the threads, and then lay it out flat, wrap it a few times, and then clink it on. All right, you know what? Let's see if I can show you how to do the Teflon tape with the tablet propped up. Trying to remember how I saw it done online the other day. Okay, take a little bit out, and you wrap it up like this. And you take the little bead of it and get it started up in here. I guess you got to get it the other way so it rolls into the bead, but you take it and you do this number to it instead. Somehow, I guess. Huh. But anyway, wow. That's not as easy as that fella made it look online. But anyway, you're supposed to get it wrapped up in the bead here. Or I mean in the threads. That's not as easy as that fellow is making it look online, but we'll see if this works. And then supposedly, yeah, this didn't work very well at all, did it? I guess the important thing is that it goes on and doesn't leak. Let's see. Now it's all twisted up and everything. Yeah, this didn't work out very good for me at all. But I don't know, maybe there's a lot of static electricity or something in here. It is just seemingly impossible to get this Teflon tape to get going right. Alright, anyway. Oh, I'm not even in the camera lens. Shoot, I'm sorry. But yeah, so that's supposedly the right way to do it. I guess I need a lot more practice. Anyway, let's put it together and see if it leaks. Okay, I got it started for what it's worth, and I see why they used one piece and not making it two like mine, because when you're going to the finish, it wants to keep peeling off unless you get, and I guess the trick is using your thumbnails to hold it when you get it started. And see how I got just a little overlap there. So once I got the second row started, it kind of held the first one in, and you know, and then just now I can wrap it flat a couple times. And don't forget, when you're facing it, you want to go clockwise like you're screwing it in, because if you go the other way, it's going to want to unpeel it. Anyway, right, here's the other end of the hose, like I was saying, coming out and up where, right next to the power line, but right up where the old propane lines come in. And what I really want to do in the long run is actually go back to the original RV. I can't really see it from down here. There it is. You see that line right there with the copper lines coming off? That's the original RV propane system, and it's a solid line with a bunch of copper coming off of it, but it's, you know, it's got like 4 or 5 T's already on it, a couple of caps for the refrigerator. And when I bought this thing, the hot water heater wasn't hooked up, and I think with the 4 ports and the 2 caps, juggling it around, I can get a line up over here, line up over there, put the regulator back on the main line, and if it goes leak check, then I won't need to run copper line and put a bunch of copper T's in it and everything, because that's going to be expensive at like $10 a T. Anyway, so turn propane on and leak check it, of course. This shouldn't give me no problems. I didn't smell any last night with it sitting behind the chair hooked up to the buddy heater, and looking pretty good. I'll have to admit that the other regulator hose I had on here did actually smell a little bit like propane when I would turn it off. As the pressure was relieving, I would guess it was leaking. I saw a little bubble out the little hole in the side. So anyway, But then after I used it for a little while, that smell went away, and I just made sure I turned the tank off when I wasn't using it. Like I said, I'd sit here and only use the furnace this week when I was sitting here right at the furnace to use it. But anyway, so come out here now. This is the real deal. If this thing doesn't leak, then I'm in real good business here. So let's set this up, see if it leaks. Where's the camera? There it is. Click, 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 click. Oops. Speaking of leaking, click, click, click. And let's see here. Don't see any leaks. And don't see no foamy. That's good. Now, purge the air. Or propane. I'm actually just kind of blowing the stuff out of it. I know I shouldn't be doing this inside, but I got all my windows open with a couple of big fans on, so good deal. All right, and does it seal back up? Yep, seals back up. I smell a little propane coming out of it. Good. All right, now let me tell you another big advantage to this little setup I got here with that quick connect. All right, inside the big buddy, not the tough buddy, and I don't know about the hunter version, the whatever, the the camper, anyway, the outdoorsman version. They almost sold me one last night for $10 more. Anyway, but that right there, it connects to that quick connect fitting. That's the main reason why I got this whole setup. And like I said, as a bonus, now I can hook it up to the propane heater, back and forth till I get the bottom line T-system integrated. If it's leak proof, if that big old solid steel line or whatever it is leaky, rusty or leaky, then I'm just gonna have to redo it all copper anyway. But I think it's worth a try anyway. So when you avoid these and you use low pressure, you don't need a filter. So there's many reasons why I went ahead and went with this setup right here. But the awesome thing about having that nice long hose is I found that this is one of the best spots to have the heater in the evening. And thanks to this nice long hose, it goes right on in there, connects, close that up, run it along the floor. I can move it over there. I can move it over to the bathroom. It's like an extension cord, except it's propane. This big buddy heater comes with a fan on it. Spend a little extra on it. Takes 4 D-cell batteries, 6-volt, little 1/4 mono jack if you want. And I figured out that with that little setup over here, with a little mono headphone jack I got off of that used part, and used USB cable, mono USB cable. I already connected to the battery terminals just to try it off of one of these 8,000 milliamp hour charge packs from Walmart for about $10. And not only does it work, I imagine it'll get a little better at 6 volts and 5 volts, but that actually fits up in there if you just watch out for the springs and everything with the cord wrapped up in there. So it's got basically with $10 and to make up this jack, you got yourself a 8,000 milliamp rechargeable battery pack for this that fits inside of it, and if you don't want to do it with that jack right there, you can, integrate that wire to the battery terminals and inside and everything if you really want to go that route, but I'm not going to. I want to keep this with a capacity to put some standard batteries in too if I want, Anyway, but that'll save me from having to buy a power adapter for this too, because I can just plug this with that cord right into a wall USB too when I'm on 120 power. All right, and this thing here. Okay, now the other thing I wanted to mention about this hose, with that connector on it being awesome for this situation is when I first got this thing, I hooked the hose up and come turn this thing on, and it wouldn't light, wouldn't even start sparking. I put a lighter down there and everything. Then I got the instructions out and found out it takes a AA battery or AAA battery underneath for the pilot light, and it now see it goes tick 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 and it lights the flame. That's actually from the gas still left in it, because as you can see it's not connected. But anyway, it lights up. You let it sit for about 10 to 30 seconds till it heats up that little little safety valve, and then let up, and it pilot light stays lit, and then you can move it to low, medium, and high. Low is this one on low, medium is this one on full, and high is both of them on full. Got a little switch on the back for the fan, and it blows it right over here. What I actually do right now, since I'm RV off grid, I take one of those clip fans, set it down here right over whichever heater is going, and have it going out with the variable speed on it. And I set it about medium on the variable speed on that fan, and it actually does the best job. It for 5 watts of battery power off my big grid. So those are all things you can do with these big buddy heaters. Oh, anyway, what I was saying was, when I first got this and I finally did hook up the line and I finally got this thing to start click, 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 it wouldn't light. Waited again, click, 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 click. I mean, I must have done that for a good minute and a half, even though it says it shouldn't take more than a minute, but it's a 12-foot hose. Anyway, finally got it to start popping up flame and then light. Well, now, with this quick connect hose, when I disconnect this to put it away or transfer it to the furnace, I don't have to wait a minute and a half for the propane to go back and forth and basically lose this, whatever the propane's in this hose if I'm not, don't run it out while I'm using it. But now I don't have to do that. I connect it and it's already pressurized, low pressurized propane right at the source. And as you see, this thing's holding pressure, so it shouldn't even have to wait. It should just connect. And this furnace here, same thing. It ought to run pressure to the internal electronic valves and just hold it. No, I don't believe this thing will. I think this thing will probably back out there when I disconnect it, but it's not that much. Well, let's give it a try. Let's see how it all works. I got the propane. I didn't go back outside. Oh yeah, I did leak check outside. All right. So, yeah, I have to forgive the absolutely atrocious camera work today. By God, I've got some more camera equipment planned for the future, but I'm too poor to just go out and go buy it all at once. Anyway, so this thing here, it's a little stiff the first time I put it in, but that time it went in a lot better. Did I just see a drop of something? Or was that my imagination? Anyway, got this nice little handy closed door. Boom. Now, let's just do this anyway. Let's just do this anyway. Just for shits and giggles. Excuse my language. It looks tight to me. I don't really like doing that because I just got soap water up on the fan. Anyway, that looks good to me. And that looks like that's where it draws in the airs through the side vents here. And that's kind of cool because that'll keep the propane line or the propane tanks in here cool. And then it pushes it out here. I was thinking it might have something to do with that, but it doesn't. It's totally right there through those holes right there, and it intakes through there. That's pretty cool. See, these are things people don't never show you when they get these things. Anyway, so now there's a pilot light. Hold it down, like I said, for another 5 or 10 seconds. Let it up. Boom, stays lit. Now move over to low. Whoosh, that one lights up. And you need to wait for that one there to light all the way up on medium. And you can leave the pilot light on too, so you don't have to keep relighting it. And it puts off just a little tiny bit of heat too. On a really mild day, it's sometimes enough just to keep from having to keep this thing on all the time. Anyway, but I'm not even gonna do that because it's as you see, I got the fans on because it's not that cold in here. So now the real deal is disconnect this. Yeah, I don't smell too much propane, and this is going to be a little trick because of the recliner, but I believe I can take and wrap this hose up behind here. Or even push it through the floor, but I want to try not to do that because, in fact, I need to make a stop on this so I'm not pulling it out from underneath the RV, put too much pressure on it. But anyway, I think if I come down here, and come underneath the power line here like this and slide it sideways across the floor, I can connect it here. Boom. And now You know, like I said, I get the, I'll make some little things to hold the hose down, but I hold the hose down, and now, yeah, the recliner completely clears that connector, which is what I was worried about. So yeah, that's totally doable. And then of course, I come over here and turn the furnace on, and it takes a little while, but let's see the fruits of my labor here. And I'll tell you what, I had some problems with my furnace too. Let me tell you about that. Okay, I got that hose right there to get the furnace working just for, you know, a week or so while I wait for everything else to come on and do its thing. And when I connected the hose, I set the propane tank in. Or no, I used a donated stove, you know, burner hose that ran outside, and it doesn't work on this thing. Well, I got this hose that does work, but man, I thought it was a thermostat at first. Then I realized I put the wrong fuse in. I got the right fuse in. Then I realized it was the propane line I got. So I found this propane line, hooked this propane line up, got that going, and then about the second cycle I tried using the furnace, it stopped working again. And I immediately went to the thermostat wires, and they weren't contacting. I went over to the thermostat and realized that this little deal right in there, not this one here, but the one between here and there, had burned out because I wasn't getting any continuity. And this is a kind of a dummy switch anyway, so I just went ahead and slid it all the way down and forced contact and just bypassed this little, I'm guessing that's to provide a little resistance to keep a full, you know, to, I don't know, variable signal or something. Anyway, but so let's see, do I got heat coming out here? Oh, I sure do. Woohoo! Yeah, buddy. Oh yeah, that sucker's getting warm like it's supposed to. Oh yeah, that side's getting real hot. Oh yeah, so good. It works just like it's supposed to. All that work I put in last year has paid off. This new hose system I just set up has paid off. I can go quiet and quick and convenient, or I can go, you know, radiant, floor warmth, slow and mellow and inefficient with a swipe of a hose now. Pretty awesome. And like I said, once I get either this line down here done, or I just have to redo the copper lines, I'm going to have this hose right here is going to be rolled up and put in storage, so I can take a big tank with that heater anywhere I want to go. And I'm actually going to have a little fitting sitting right here that doesn't need to be regulated because it's already regulated on the inside lines, that I can connect the buddy heater and move it around with that permanently hooked up. So technically, in the long run, what I really want, and if I actually hook up my third tank and put that back on, I could actually run both heaters at the same time, plus my stove, plus my hot water heater right now if I got desperate. But my goal, like I said, is to integrate these so I don't need more than 2 tanks at a time, and down to 1 in the long run. But pretty cool. $25 for that hose on sale with all those connectors and everything. That was a steal because they're closer to $35-$40, probably $50 for the Mr. Heater brand. But because it's low pressure, it shouldn't matter. See, there it goes, boom. Cycles off like it's supposed to after it purges the system. Wonderful. And like I said, the that was you can get them for about $120 starting around on eBay. I found one as low as $105 after shipping and tax that I bid on. But my card had so much trouble that I just gave up, went straight to Tractor Supply as soon as I saw this thing for $140 plus tax. But it had the fan on it, which is, you know, like a $25 option. So it almost worked out. But the important thing is I got it here now. I don't have to wait a week, and I don't have to worry about it getting stolen off the porch or something while, you know, I'll try to go get to the shipping. I haven't had any problems with that here, but I've had a lot of, you know, near scares in the last couple of years. So anyway, I think that will do it. Well, you know, just for fun. Unhook that. That's the only little trick, is I gotta work it back. Oh, I gotta work it back up under the seat. And I guess, yeah, like I said, I'm gonna make a little system here to make this a little better, but I don't imagine I'm gonna be switching it back and forth too often. And then bring it across the floor and go click, and then click. Whoosh. There we go. Look at that. Yeah, buddy. Sweet. I love it. And then I can just go ahead and go click. And even got the little plug on the end now, which is just a double safety feature. In fact, I imagine pressure pops that off, you'll know that thing's not holding. Oh, look at that. The buddy heater stacks right up there just perfectly for storage right now. I guess I could slide it behind the seat too. And it might not even get in the way of the recliner. So I got a couple of options. The only trick with that is this chair sits right in the way of getting easy access back there. I can pull it out of the way, but I'll be honest, the rollers on this thing are all stuck and twisted, so I got to kind of pick it up in this heavy chair. And I'm just being lazy now. Oh, and outside on that propane tank, I got a plastic topper with a tire, a backup tire, lawnmower tire as a weight to set on top of the propane tank to give it a, cover because it's out in the weather. So I got that taken care of. I also made sure it's far enough away from this vent and the exhaust on the propane furnace, so it shouldn't have any problem with the heat coming off of either of these appliances. All right, I think I've just about covered everything, so let's go back to that camera roll. One more thought I had last night. If I redo my little medical marijuana exhaust outlet, ventilation, whatever you want to call it, anyway, what I was thinking is this is actually not, especially if I'm not using the bottom furnace, this is actually a good spot to put this thing out of the way and kind of central location, especially if I put a fan on there. I'm going to tell you what, if the clearances are good enough, this will be a good spot for this. One of the best reasons why is convenience. I can sit on my recliner and just reach over and turn it on and off if it gets too hot or cold, instead of having to walk across the floor and turning it on and off. So I'm going to try it there. Is again, make sure it ain't seeping heat to make dangerous. And I'll probably have to move. Well, no, I shouldn't have to move my guitars. It says there's zero clearance on the back. And technically I can mount that on a wall too. But I think I like the idea of being able to pick it up and move it around right now. Although it just hangs on the wall, it doesn't actually attach. All right, I talk too much. J and K, you guys got anything else to say today? Oh yeah, check out my new little birdhouse with the birdhouse. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video at least as much as I enjoy life to make it so far. Stay tuned. I've got 3 self-propelled bikes I need to do video on. This continuing heater project. I've got a bunch of window panels for installation and so much more to come. Please like, share, and subscribe if you care to. J&K, anything else to say?